Oh, hello, friends. As if we never left. It's your old pal, Justin Robert Young, joining you here. We are gonna watch the State of the Union together. How about that? Huh? How about that? Is that a fun little thing we can all do together? Can we do a little State of the Union? Maybe a little bit. I got a little inside sauce. I got a little inside hot goss. We can talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about. State of the Union is allegedly going to begin at the top of the hour. But we are trying to see if everything is working. We should be streaming to Twitch, YouTube, and Substack. A reminder that you can get us on Substack TV. And I got to say, I've missed this. I don't have the opportunity to stream on the regularity that I once did. I'm doing my best to try to keep the content up for you guys. But one of the things that is hard to make time for is the old streameroo, because I just want to stay. I just want to stay. I found the password. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is oh, it's true. It's damn true. Let's see here. The damn streameroo. That's a fact. That is a fact. Okay. So let me. Yeah. We need to go to one place and one place only. And that is C-SPAN. Now, look. I love C-SPAN. We got fam at C-SPAN. All they got a sponsored co-stream with Chris Eliza and Chuck Todd, and here's all I'm gonna say. I'm jealous. Boys, I'm jealous. They're like being billed as like the Manning cast for C-SPAN. Born to do this, guys. Born to do this. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Will Trump make any announcements about Iran? I don't suspect so. Yeah, you never know with this guy. But in general, like, he views the State of the Union as, I mean, I think you'll get a statement that the United States will never be threatened, and nations that chant death to America should always be looking over their shoulder. I think you'll get something like that, but you're not gonna get any like, um, "We're gonna kidnap Khomeini tomorrow" kinda stuff. We are confirming YouTube's live. Is anybody on Substack? If somebody can, I don't think I'm gonna get Substack chat, but if there is Substack chat, let me know. The only big thing, actually, hold on. Hold on, man. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I was trying to see whether or not we would be able to raise the audio. Oh, Alex Eisenstadt, guest of the show. You'll love to see it. Okay. We're not going to worry about that. Okay. As you can tell, guys, I have mm, mm. Dan Clancy announced that you can have simultaneous chats from other platforms on Twitch finally. Oh, so you can pipe in other chats and stream on Twitch? I don't know what that means. Dan Clancy is kind of a dork. Oh, hell yeah. Dual screening your commentary besides the FSU Miami game in basketball. Always fun. Okay, so we have that work. We can go back to me, full screen, take C-SPAN down. The only question is, do we want to put the time and effort into getting a little bit of audio? Just a little bit of audio. Do we want to get that? And also, do we want to put the littlest State of the Union in the corner? Do we care? Do we care if we get nuked? Are people going to be mad about it? I mean, C-SPAN's certainly not going to nuke us. Call it right now. Will the Dems stand and clap for anything, no matter how well loved it is? So they did get raked over the coals for not standing for anything last time. That being said, I think that the Democrats are more emboldened a year on than they were a year ago. They believe that they are on the right side of the national mood. They believe that Donald Trump is historically unpopular, and they believe that anything that he says turns to shit. So I'm going to say that they don't clap for anything. I mean, aside from, I don't know, I think that they'll probably clap for the US hockey team, right? US hockey team's going to be there. Hi. Hope you and the fam are doing well. We are. Thank you. Thank you. We are doing well. Bella is down. By the way, Ashley is also on a business call. So there is a slight chance that I have to go take care of a baby and you guys will just be sitting here alone. I'll just leave C-SPAN on. But there is a slight chance that I need to take care of a crying baby. I don't think it'll happen. But when it comes to crying babies, well, you never can tell. Let me tell you that. You cannot tell. The women's team lucked out. Yeah, it's the funny thing. People kind of miss this. I talk about it on a Friday PX3, but like an element that people missed with the women's team and the men's team is that the men's team are millionaires. They're a part of a professional hockey league with a collective bargaining agreement that guarantees them all a significant amount of money, and they are at the top of that profession. The women's hockey team have jobs, like that they need to get back to. Does she look like Daryush? Fuck no, dude. My wife had a clone. She is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. That is my firstborn daughter. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. Trust me, I've told my wife, if if she doesn't have my sense of humor, in about a year, we're going to have some questions. There's just going to be some questions, just so everybody knows. Is the teething done? I don't believe the teething is done. I do believe that the 4 canines that were coming in over the last 2 weeks, I think, have all poked through, for which I am happy. Very happy about that. Does she go to a lot of Turning Point rallies? No. No, she does not have an adversarial documentary made about her by Candace Owens either. She does have blonde hair and blue eyes. So she has that in common and not much else with Erica Kirk. She did not inherit my ethnic ambiguity. No. In fact, I think that my muttness allowed my wife's proud Donno Schwaben heritage to just dominate. Donno Schwaben, by the way, is standing for the Germans who migrated down the Danube River. And so therefore, they are river Germans. That's what I call them. The river Germans. Macbeth calls for an Iran attack late in the week. Here are my Iran thoughts. I kind of think that Venezuela is our blueprint. And all I would say about Venezuela is that nobody knew before that all went down that Delcy Rodriguez, the second in command, was very excited to be a pro-America conduit. That the organizational structure was so was such a kleptocracy that they literally just needed to get the guy who wasn't making them enough money out of the way. And if we promised more money and nobody else got killed, that they would be totally into it. Now, Iran is very different from Venezuela. There are certain elements that do need to be dealt with, up to and including like the mullahs and stuff like that. But you got to wonder, are there people inside Iran that are like, look, you need to take out this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and we can run the country and we can start, you can lift that old little blockade. You can lift all those sanctions and we can get to business. We can start selling oil out west. Be a good time to be in Iran. But I don't know. Do I think Trump will message to Iran in the speech? If he does, I will think it's a lie. Not for any other reason than that's kind of his move. Like, remember this, and this goes all the way back to 2016. One of Trump's biggest bugaboos was when people announced their plans. He is a huge, like, don't announce the plan guy, right? And that's why I don't believe I mean, we were lied to right up until the moment that we bombed the nuclear facilities. We were lied to right up until they nicked Maduro, and I think we're being lied to now. Now, I think from their point of view, they're like, "Look, our job is to be lethal and effective, not to be the, conduit to our inner secrets. We keep our secrets and then we execute on them." But what we found out with the Operation Midnight Hammer in Iran was that this was always going to happen. We just wanted the ability to do it. That, like, the arguments and negotiations that we were having with Iran really didn't matter because I don't think that we believe we can trust Iran anyway. This is more about the logistics of where we need people and how we need people and who's going to do X, Y, and Z. Venezuela, the same thing. It was like, oh, it's drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs. And it's not drugs, but also it's oil. And also it's China. And that's the one thing that we have not said out loud about all of the stuff that's happened. And I may well wind up being the Charlie Day with my Pepe Sylvia board on this, but Panama Canal, Greenland, Venezuela, and Iran. What do they have in common? China controlled the access ports in the Panama Canal. China was buying oil from Venezuela and theoretically could put missiles within striking distance from their shores. Greenland would be the access point from the north, and Iran is not just a source of oil for China, which is not native to that area. It is their primary source of oil. I don't think that we would be looking to take Iran so we could say, you're not going to sell to China, because I think that starts World War III. But do I think we want to have a bit of a bargaining chip? China didn't hesitate when we were in trade wars about, like, oh, well, maybe we pull back these rare earth minerals, huh? Maybe we pull that back. How do you like that? And we were like, damn, you pulled our card, G. But now we're like, oh, Iran. I don't know. What if you didn't have oil? Would that be bad? Part of me thinks that this is all about China. 100%. Every move that's being made is being aggressively against Chinese interests. I don't believe that anything in Iran already happened. I don't think that they're going to try to time it for this. I think that that's too cute by half. Not to say that it's impossible, but, like, if that fucks up and it's because you tried to do it during the speech, then you're Biden in Afghanistan. Remember, they did the Venezuela thing based on weather. That was the deciding factor on that. They were literally just deciding on the weather of when things were going to go. Here we go, Susie Wiles. Out into the motorcade. Yeah, look, I understand what you guys are saying, that it's Trump and Trump's the big showman and everything, but, like, there are differences. he wants to show the success. He's not a timing guy per se. He would rather it succeed and then run out on television immediately after, no matter what time of day. This is the way I've thought of this is here, JD Vance making his way into the auditorium. Oh, there we go. Big Chungus, Donald Trump and Melania, the first lady, getting in to the beast. Making their way, a famous route from the White House to the Capitol. A very famous route for Donald Trump and his supporters. Senators making their way into the chamber now. Melania from the hit movie. Yeah. Where do I stand on the UAP disclosure stuff? I think it is a dumb distraction. I think that most of the concept of the UAP disclosures are just going to be watered down versions of tech that we have or tech that we suspect foreign countries to have. Here we go. All the senators. Susan Collins making her way in. The Pennsylvania boys, Fetterman and McCormick. Okay, so here's some stuff that I've heard. I've heard that Republicans have been saving seats on the aisle of the House because they don't want anybody to be on the aisle. And that is the greeting section for the president as they come in. And they succeeded, except for one seat. One seat that they were mad they didn't get because there is one man who has camped out there all damn day. And his name is Thomas Massie. So Thomas Massie will be on the aisle. Will he say something to Trump? Will there be any kind of moment? Who knows? We know that several Democrats are not going to be there. There is a multiple alternative State of the Unions that the Democrats are having, which I'm sure will all be very well attended and paid attention to. Do they put jackets on chairs? No, they actually have to rotate. So some members took took turns. What are the chances that this will be a significant speech? I think it'll be significant in length. I do know that Trump is sensitive to the idea that people, tune out after a certain point. Here we go. The Vice President of the United States of America, along with the Senate majority and minority leaders, leading the Senate delegation into the House chamber. Sleep debt coming for you. I actually got a good night's sleep last night. The old bean did not wake up, which is nice. Boop. But no, I was up at 4:30 and hit the gym. Got a good workout in. Very happy for that. Will the State of the Union get a TP USA halftime show? Woo! Is it safe to assume that Trump won't announce any military plans with Iran, but will justify the presumably incoming war? I don't think he's going to spend a lot of time on it. My guess would be he spends general time on it. That again, it's more along the lines of like countries that chant death to America will respect us and will learn that we can be a great friend, but we are a terrible enemy. Something like that. I think that's more along the lines that we're going to get. We're not going to get and I was talking to Carol Markowitz about this, like the difference between the neocons and Trump is that the neocons would spend weeks building up public sentiment of a foreign war. You would hear about every kid that was ever murdered by the regime. You would hear about every great, amazing thing that will happen as soon as this bloodthirsty dictator is overtoppled. You would hear about every American that's ever died in conflict with this person. They would make all those cases famous. They would push them relentlessly. And then hopefully they would have at least their base solidified when they went to war. Donald Trump's like, I don't want anyone to know how we plan on doing things. I will echo Sean Spicer from the Huddle podcast saying that it's very interesting that there are no follow-on forces that are amassing in the Middle East. You have a lot of naval power. You have a lot of missile power, but you do not have a lot of follow-along forces. There are pieces here missing that are interesting to me. Could you get a less divisive group of people controlling our country? No, sorry. Best we can do is the most divisive people controlling our country. It will be curious to see exactly how Trump handles the Supreme Court. He is famously a grudge holder. Will he slander the court? That I think is quite a possibility. Quite a possibility. Will I have audio up? You want to know what? Really, the only thing that I would need to figure out is for me to get cans so I can listen off the board. And I don't know if I have those. All right, hold on. Okay, let's see here. Go. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's turn. Okay. Can you hear me and can you hear the feed? No feed. Okay. Okay, so you can hear me. Not all right. Okay. Why is that not going out? Why can I hear it on the cans? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Why the hell is this happening? Is it road cannery multi? Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right. Now, um, no. A brief moment of something there. No, no, no. I think that's just this getting caught in that. Just dub it for us. Jerry Dub with unique voices. Okay. Well, mm. Oh, for a sec, you heard crowd noise? I don't have the C-SPAN volume at 0. I do know that. I think I've identified a thing that I have not figured out, though. Smart home medium main mix. What? The fans. Check, check, check. Wait, do we have it? You had it for can you hear it now or not? You had it for 2 seconds. Almost static. No, I don't think it is a compression thing. I think it's a routing thing. I'm hearing it very, very, very clear in my headphones. In fact, actually, that's an interesting idea. Can you hear it now? No. No, you cannot hear it, right? That would be very stupid if you could okay, at least it's not okay, hold on. Okay. If you're sending audio to a computer audio okay, hold on. Here we go. No, still nothing. There's Melania. All right. Oh, Barron's getting thicker, huh? Okay, you wanna know what? We're just gonna punt on this because either I can fiddle around with it or, we can just talk, and I think we're just gonna talk. So if you just wanna start it on your computer, somewhere else, then we can do that. Marco Rubio and Scott Bessent entering the chamber. I wonder if tonight is the night he sounds like a president. Look, if you are looking for this old dog to do any new tricks, then that is up to you. Now, where is Lutnick? Lutnick, by the way, was the guy who had the big plan for the IEPA tariffs, for the record. Go back to the original setting. I don't know what I've changed. Who is the designated survivor? It's a house member, a random house member. There is RFK Jr., Linda McMahon. There's Kristi Noem, Kelly Loeffler, Jameson Greer. Now, by the way, if you want to look at somebody that might be rising in power, Jameson Greer, who is apparently on the other side of Howard Lutnick in debating with the tariffs exactly how to go about them. Lutnick wound up winning, saying that IEPA was the way to go, and now there is a gigantic poop on the floor that everybody needs to clean up. There's Howard Lutnick. Give us your best Rush Limbaugh impression. Well, as you can see, the golden age, like my golden microphone, has begun, dear listeners, and it is the great Donaldus Maximus, Donald John Trump, who is at the lead. Lutnick looks like Timu George Carlin. I would love, God, a George Carlin routine on the Epstein Files. My kingdom for a George Carlin routine on the Epstein Files. There's the most powerful woman in the world, Susie Wiles. And by the way, Susie Wiles with Kristi Noem. The rumor is she is actively trying to get her the hell out of her job. A very interesting shot there. All right, I'm fixating again, guys. I don't know why this would not be pumping out. There we go. How about now? Now we're cooking. I have no idea why it flipped to another thing. We should be good now. You should be able to hear me. For whatever reason, you're probably still not able to hear. Uh, no clue why that's the case. Yeah, if you can hear me, that's the best we're gonna be able to do. All right, I'm gonna take this walk up as an opportunity to grab a beer for the rest of the road, and I'll be right back. Yeah, just a little bit more live streaming practice, and I'll be able to not fuck this up. By the way, that room is so much smaller than you think it is. Mike Johnson's got kind of a radio voice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the President of the United States. USA chant from the Republicans. I'm very muffled. Fuck. All right, now we're just doing fucking. I actually just might quit. It's gonna be because I can't hear myself. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take that out. Put these on. All right. I don't know if this is any better, but okay. Kind of a subdued tone from Trump starting out. A turnaround for the ages is probably where his staff wants him more talking, for the record. Golden age is a little bit up. Here we go. We have our first walkouts. Al Green walking out with a sign that's being grabbed. And now there's some screams of the Democrats protesting that are walking out. America and police are stacked. Al Green is old, dude. If that guy's gonna pull a stunt, he's got to do it early. By the way, this is something that he probably does get too little credit for, and yet in polling that the Republicans shared with Congress people, they said that nobody gives a shit, which, by the way, is the reason why you don't solve problems in Washington. Oh, Susie's sitting with Kristi Noem. So far, by the way, the Democrats acting normal. This is kind of normal behavior. In a bygone era, that might have actually gotten a bipartisan thing. Like that is bipartisan. You probably should cheer that less fentanyl is in America. That I think is at the outer edges of things. It's not an outright lie, but it's like the far shading of the truth. Someone needs to check where that is. Like, I'm in Austin, which is probably like on the more expensive end of gas in Texas, but we're at about 230, 240. So, you know what his team would love. what he wants or what the staff wants is to say that we still have more to do. He's kinda he's kinda chugging. Elizabeth Warren sharing memes. He's cooking. He does not normally go this fast. Oh, yeah, we can turn on the subtitles. No, I don't think that it no, English. Yeah. It's on, it's just not going. Out of oil. Sarah Palin's great legacy to American politics. So this is a big thing that administration and Republican people will talk to you when they when you look at job statistics is that like we're seeing a unfairly a depressed job market because they cut so many government jobs, and if you only went with private sector jobs, it'd be up, and that Biden had artificially propped up those numbers. And there's the catchphrase for the night. I gotta say, this is not the gravitas that Trump normally has. Now, there's a little less pugilism. The Democrats aren't feeding him, but he's going very fast. And that's why you're seeing the up, down, up, down. Oh, there we go. Our first guests of the night are the biggest ones. That is the gold medal winners of men's hockey being brought out into the gallery next to the press. chanting USA. For the record, last night they were at Club 11 on South Beach, where they made the club not only sing the national anthem, but also Toby Keith's, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Yes, the Dems are clapping for the hockey team, for the record. The journalists, ever the professionals, are not. There is the Hughes brothers. Of course, Jack Hughes with the golden goal. I mean, come on. Everybody in Congress is clapping for him. This isn't so bad. And Trump pokes at the Democrats. Well, Trump announcing that the American women will soon come to the White House. God, what a game. Uh, Hellebuck, the goalie who stopped 41 shots on goal, named, according to the Department of War, the Secretary of Defense. There's Connor Hellebuck. Just an insane performance, for the record. Good God. Oh, 46. Oh, wow. Connor Hellebuck getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom for beating Canada. Trump loves the reality show stuff. He loves the reality show stuff. Goalies also legendary psychos, but you can see the emotion on his face. That's an honor. Yeah, the man took 46 shots to America, and you know, Trump's only taken 2. By the way, for the record, if you think the world hates us now, uh, the LA games are going to include flag football. So there's some German bartender who's going to play against Saquon Barkley. It's pretty cool. At least they'll be on better TV schedules. So we have moved through the policy stuff pretty briskly. We are now on to the cotton candy. No, closed caption. We tried it, Boku. Yeah, Jesus, you're gonna startle this old fucker. 99 years old. Next to Usha Vance, who's about to pop, by the way. She's due in July with her 4th kid. She looks great. Kishore, all I'm saying is that the only 3 stats that matter are U, S, and A. Trump usually, throws to the fact that they're here, but there they are, the Coast Guard officer and the young girl who was rescued from the, tragedy right here in Central Texas, not but a year ago. Less than a year ago. Oh yeah, it's Adam. Are you really using the P word? Are you saying presidential? I mean, it has not been particularly combative. Oh wow, giving him the award right there. Oh my God, you could never say that Trump isn't a reality television producer. Military aid, fuck the Q. Let's see. Can he not say the name that he gave it, the one big beautiful bill, and instead call it the Working Families Tax Cut Act? Because that is what they want to call it now. The Democrats cheering against the one big beautiful bill. Oh, not even the real name. I tell you, that's a good moment for Trump because the Democrats were very itching to hit him with something, and he baited them into cheering against tax cuts. Yeah, no Tuck said 1/3 of my overtime. Gosh dang, he is cooking here, dude. Be funny if they just like made her serve drinks though. The tips you get, you can keep all of them. The man behind Donald Trump reminds me of a happy Stephen Colbert. That is Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. That is wild. They had a private citizen literally just give the government $6 billion. By the way, Michael Dell will fly from his house to the Dell campus over Brian Brushwood's campus in his helicopter. Bella missed out on it. You gotta be having a kid this year. Where do you sign up? In your partner's uterus. I switch to Pam Bondi when they talk about the Dow being over 50,000. Uh-oh. Here we go. Will he take on the Supreme Court? Cheers from the Democrats. And Trump stays on target. Oh, he takes it off Congress's plate. Trump does not rip the Supreme Court. That was very much in play here. He called it unfortunate and moved on. Howard Lutnick surprised. Surprised is like the time he forgot having lunch with his old friend on the island. And we are now dressing down the Democrats. Trump using the bully pulpit to say, "You are to blame, Democratic Congress." I don't know how much the American people care, but that is the pin he wants to stick. This is kind of more where his staff wanted him to be. We are working, we are doing, not we did. Damn, it's preaching. I mean, here's what's popular there. Going against the insurance companies obviously is popular. That's actually a bipartisan popular position. Price transparency. Okay, so this is an actual fight that I am hearing about in Congress right now. This did actually happen, but Big Pharma basically made the deal just for Trump's term, and now he's pushing to get it codified, and the pharma people are freaking out. Announce she's pregnant. Announce she's pregnant. Oh, come on. You gotta announce, "And by the way, it's a boy." You gotta announce she's pregnant. This is a huge fight with Pharma right now. That was a big regulatory thing with Burgum. Uh-oh. Who's asleep? This is one of those Trump lane things. Oh, Democrats standing up. Closest thing we've gotten to bipartisan other than the USA hockey team. He should have announced he got that the offer was accepted. This is by far the best State of the Union that he's given. and I don't think it's close. This is actually kind of breezy. Ooh, Trump calling for a stock ban in Congress. And that gets a bipartisan reaction. Elizabeth Warren, palms up. Oh, Jesus. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up? I mean, this is as far as Trump goes, dude, this is like a masterclass for him. All right. Here we go. We're getting into the Somali community of Minnesota. Democrats are now getting a little sassy. They're starting to scream. JD Vance being named as the leader of the war on fraud. Oh man, we'll have to rank the suicide missions, rank the VP suicide missions on Friday's show. Donald Trump promising a balanced budget if we find the fraud. No pressure, JD. Just balance the budget. Oh, Ah, Trump's a sucker for the cute kid moment. Ah, adorable. Yeah. Plowed into by an 18-wheeler driven by an illegal immigrant. I mean, look, the guy knows TV. He knows TV. Dodge St. Regis, where do you get a driver's license without a birth certificate? California. This is actually a thing that really does bear mentioning. This is an extremely well done speech for Donald Trump, and part of it is that we got the silly up front, and now he gets into the serious. In the past, he would have gotten into this really, really dark, like crime is overtaking our streets, here's a murdered body kind of stuff earlier in the speech. This is an extremely well constructed speech. It's a lot of the same notes that you've seen before, but the way that it's ordered is like by far the best. And I have hated almost every one of his State of the Unions. Trump staying on message, pointing to the midterms. Do you want a reason to vote for Republicans? It is open borders. This is like oddly competent for him. Trump adding heat to get the shutdown. C-SPAN just catching people napping. Now he's just baiting the Democrats. Oh my god. Oh my god. Checkmate, dude. Look, he knows it. He knows it. That's a commercial moment. You can put that. I mean, to say stand up if you believe in this, the role of the United States is to protect its citizens and not illegal aliens, and the Democrats are not standing up and cheering. It's just it's well done. It's well done. It's well done for a side. And the Republicans are gonna hold on it. They wanna milk it, and I think they're right to. Mark Kelly, he's just like, "Did I just fuck up?" Ugh. Oh, no, they wanna make him sit on it. Now the Dems are just starting to yell because they don't have anything to do. I think Ilhan Omar screaming, "You have killed Americans. You have murdered Americans." The Democrats have just gotten thumped and they know it. And now they're starting to fray. Dems got played. Played, dude. Especially when they stood up and cheered for the Stock Act. Remember, he got him to do that. This is a fucking well done speech, dude. This is a popular position. Now, the question is, will Trump put pressure on Thune to pass it? I'll tell you what, I mean, we'll see what the reaction is from other people, but if this is getting the kind of reaction that I am seeing in the chat room and I am feeling right now, this might actually give the Save America Act a new wind. Oh, name's John. John Thune. Putting a little pressure on John. So that's the first time that we've seen some of the Trumpian in-house shooting. Gentle. Going to the first transgender member of Congress here on C-SPAN. She is now going to the Bible College, Liberty University. That is the first, we'll see if it's the only reference to transgender issues, a winner for the Republicans in the 2024 election. The Dems are so afraid, dude. And they're just getting run over. He's not giving them any energy. We might end on Erica Kirk, to be honest with you. Yes, he has mentioned that the Department of Homeland Security is shut down, and he played to the idea that there's snow removal. Trump now getting a little bit more pugilistic with the Democrats. We'll see if he keeps leaning there. I mean, he's kept it fairly above board. Trump giving energy to the hecklers. Can he stay on script? Trump giving love to his wife. I mean, look, if there's one thing that this speech has gotten right, it's the sweet and the sour. For each moment that he's gotten pugilistic, he's surrounded it with sweetness, with kind of the ooey gooey, and it's hit. It hasn't felt cloying. Erica Kirk getting weepy. A Charlie Chant. Pat the weirdo weeping because she knows her bank account is getting bigger. Save it for the Candace Owens chat room, Pete. Another bipartisan standing. Oh, Jesus. Is the mother of the woman who was brutally murdered on the. Yeah, I was going to say that did not look like the mom of the Ukrainian refugee. Oh, wow. Next to Erica Kirk. This is a shredding. You want to know what? The Democrats who didn't show up were right. Well, now I feel bad about being pro-crime, says Lon Makes. He's starting to get a little too dragged in. This is the thing. As soon as Trump gets off his access, he's getting too fixated on the Democrats. I think what's been great about the first hour of the speech is that he elevated himself. He was talking right to the audience, but now he's starting to fight with everybody there. Very, very sad story over the Thanksgiving holiday, if people remember. The one thing that I like about Trump's people that he brings in are not only are they like very, very close to big stories, but also they do seem really like not happy to be there. Where a lot of times the people that are there are like kind of operatives or true believers of a party to begin with. But like those people look miserable, which you should be when your kids died. Yeah, I would imagine that ball cap is there because the old melon seen better days. Oh no, Democrats, are you standing? Oh, they're clapping, they're standing. Okay, let's clap for the guy who shot in the head. Let's clap. Let's clap. We're clapping. We're clapping for the National Guardsman who was shot in the head. Okay, good, good, good. We're clapping for the National Guardsman. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude got a Purple Heart. Show the Dems. Show the Dems. Are the Dems cheering? The DC guard was in combat? Well, I guess when, a homie rolls up with a gun and shoots you in the head, you can kinda squint and call it that. Uh, he's taking the bait. Jerry, do you think that the Dems are torn about standing and applauding because it looks bad to the Dem base or because they think it's, not majority popular and just manufactured inside the State of the Union? Dem base. Are we gonna get an Iran comment? This would be where that goes. Trump taking a victory lap on Gaza. Now, this is an interesting place where he can twist the knife if he wants to. It also put Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib in a different position. Democrats stood for that. That's crazy. I guess I didn't know that. I mean, everything is so information warfare. Another bipartisan applause break. I mean, Jesus, if anybody had the over under on that, it had to be at like 2.5, and it's definitely gone over. The regime. Listen to the language he's using, separating the country from the regime. Wow. Democrats standing up for saying Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Dems are going to get shredded by the base for this. So no specific Iranian promises. Just so folks know, I will be giving my closing thoughts on Newsmax 2. That will be at the top of the hour after the speech. And the Democrats clap for firemen. This kind of feels normal. Kind of. Mm. How much credit are we giving to Wiles on this one? When it comes to Donald Trump and a microphone, the only credit belongs to one man. And the Democrats standing up, some standing up to cheer the death of El Mencho. The Trump children in the gallery cheering Space Force, his actual babies cheering his metaphorical baby. To be honest, boring as fuck. I mean, Poop Tempest, it's a State of the Union. I will say, at on par of other State of the Unions, this one is rollicking. We got the live reunion. Oh, they didn't get the reaction. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. Someone has to have that reaction. Again, the reality television producer. Nice to have you back, Enrique. X15, he's in Mar-a-Lago storytelling phase. Yeah, but you wanna know what? He earned it with the speech. I'm assuming they have him in the gallery because he can't sit, and he's gonna get an award. Congressional Medal of Honor is what he's gonna get. Come on, cut to the Democrats. All I want to do is see what the Democrats stand up for. You can tell he's still in pain standing up. He's got the cane or walker. I can't tell. Yeah, it's a walker. There's a smile for the old boy. The Dems are gonna get shredded by the progressives for this. Yeah, Reverend Puck, apparently the personal awarding of it will be, at the private ceremony. Oh, and they're gonna sit him right back into a wheelchair, so that's what he's in a wheelchair. Will my after show be on the podcast feed? I'm not really doing an after show, but I am doing the Newsmax hit, so I'll put that on YouTube. Two congressional medals of honor. And there we go. Standing of Mark Kelly, who apparently will now no longer be charged by Judge Janine Pirro. Alyssa Slotkin behind her, also one of the so-called two Republicans, seditious six, for telling soldiers to not obey illegal orders. But yet a moment where all can stand up and cheer. You gotta wonder whether or not this kind of stuff is gonna outlast Trump, by the way. Big, elongated, bipartisan standing ovation. This was the strategy that the Trump administration employed last year, which was like, what is the most bipartisan thing we can dare the Democrats to not stand up for? I mean, it's a 100-year-old vet who kept his greatest moment of heroism secret for most of his life. Like, come on. This is very close to how he's ended his stump speech since the last campaign. Very poetic. Jesus Christ. All right. Guys, that is a wrap. Go ahead and tune in to Newsmax 2. I got to log on there. The short version. He's never done a speech that good for the State of the Union. He worked the Democrats like a speed bag. He actually stuck on message for things that I didn't think he was going to be able to stay on message to, specifically the State of the Union and uh, pressuring John Thune on the Save America Act. The reality show stuff was big. It was a sweet and sour moment, and really the big thing that they wanted was making Democrats sit down while they were talking about illegal immigrants. Like, for what Donald Trump wants to do, I can't think of a way that he could execute better. But anyway, hear me say that on Newsmax. I will see you guys later.